Morning tubers, it's Saturday, April 4th, and that's the time, that's the temp in the garage, and spent the morning pretty much going over YouTube videos. I had a whole bunch of them I haven't been watching, didn't watch, and I had to get through them. So, I tinkered with the antenna and got it in and mounted, and it's good. I took a washer and used a unibit and drilled the hole out to 3/4 of an inch. This is an extra one I did, and put it in underneath, and then put the gasket on top and that, and it's good. I like it. So now what we need to do is take this from here to this hole here, and this is pretty flimsy, and so we're going to probably pull out some steel, probably a little overkill, but yeah, this is the smallest stock I got. So we're going to make that band or that strap out of that, measure it up. I was thinking of using plumber's tape, but that's even more flimsy than that. So I think what we'll do is we'll just go ahead and make it out of steel, put the twist in it to where we go from flat to vertical, and measure it up. I might do this end slotted, so if I have to move the antenna base in or out, that I'll have some adjustment in it. So it looks like we'll be firing up the drill press today over there. So looks like a full day in the garage, fabbing something up. So when I get more, I'll turn this back on later. Alright, here's the piece laid out. This is the hole that'll go into the bottom of the antenna. Here's where the twist will be, to where it goes from vertical to horizontal. And then this is the slotted hole that'll go to the wheelhouse opening that we'll make. And so, yeah, and then this will be the end of the piece where I cut it off. So I'm going to look at this for a minute, just figure it out. I got the antenna back out. Here's the washer I made. And so, yeah. So when I get more, I'll turn it back on later. Alright, got the piece cut out. And I know it's from this hole. Wait, oh, back this up. From this hole to that hole is 1.25 inches. So I'm just wondering how much the twist is going to take up. How much is this going to shrink? So I think before we do anything else, we'll just go ahead and heat it up and do the twist, and then come back and we'll drill the holes once we check measurements, once it cools off. So into the vise, get the torch out, and get the big set of welding gloves out and the vice grips, and let's twist this up, and we'll see what happens. More in a minute later. Yeah, we'll go inside and let that cool. It is not real. It's not far off, but it's there. And I put it in, it was level, so it was level this way when I put it in. But yeah, so we'll see how that works. Again, I don't know how much the twist was going to distort it, but we'll ooh, these are hot. Oh yeah, they're warm. But we'll let her sit, and when she cools off, we will yeah, it looks good. and we will take care of the drilling the holes and cleaning it up. More in a minute later. Hey guys, we're all set up in the drill press. Best thing I ever did to this drill press was put a foot switch in it. That way I keep both hands free. Okay. A little oil. Alright. It's a 15/64 hole we're drilling, and in decimal that works out to be 0.234. So, yeah, I gotta get a rag, hang on. So the next one is going to be, I'm going to do the 1/4 inch slats, yeah, along the back. Yeah, we'll have to sand it. First we'll check it. Hang on, I'll be right back. Yeah, that's going to work. This is the hole for the into the bottom of the antenna. So now we get the slot. I don't know if you guys can see this. We're going to slot this, and that's going to be for 1/4 inch, so we'll have to change the drill bit. So let me get this set up, and I'll bring you back. Hang on. So 1/4 inch is 0.25. So let's go find that. But let me get this set up and I'll bring you back. Okay, we got it all set up with a 1/4 inch drill bit. And all I'm going to do is just start walking it through the vise and drilling holes. So we'll see how this is going to work out. Before we get any further, let me take a 1/4 inch bolt and see if that's going to work. Okay, that'll work. Alright, super. Maybe we go up one size. Let's go up one size, 1 decimal point bigger. Yeah. Yeah. So, I just want to give it something a little bit bigger to play. Not as tight. So we'll just go up a decimal size, 1 drill bit bigger. what we're going to do is just bring the bracket out just a little bit and drill another hole. There's going to be some filing involved, but I'll give you my slide. Give me my slotted hole that I'm looking for. Now we just back it out a little more. A little oil. You just take this slow and easy. Don't rush it. I want to get at least a ½ inch slot. Maybe a little more. See, one more ought to do it. Yeah. Little oil. If I had a milling machine, this would be a lot easier. But I don't. Did everybody see that video that Gary Ramsey put up on Ramsey Customs on making those emblems for the car? I thought that was outstanding. Okay. Like I said, there's going to be some filing to be done, but we'll get it cleaned up. So when I get more, I'll turn it back on later. Alright, there the hole's cleaned up. And it's filed. And it gave me the slot I was looking for. Not the neatest thing in the world, but it's going to be in the trunk. Who's going to see it? So now we'll test fit it, and then we will clean it up and prime it and paint it. So see how it fits. More in a minute, guys. Alright, it fits. I had to bend it. When I get it out, I'll show you. But now we'll clean it up and we'll prime and paint it so it doesn't rust in there. And when I get more, I'll show you. Hang on. Alright, now you can see the bend I had to put in it. Had to pull it out twice. Didn't bend it as much on the first go around and pulled it out and bent it more. So it sits up like this. So yeah, and this battery's almost dead. So I'm gonna clean this up, paint it, and then bring it back in, and I'll bring you back. And meantime, while this is drying, maybe the battery will charge later. Hey tubers, man, it took forever for this battery to charge up. I just brought this in from outside. Bracket's still drying. Watch me, I'm going to drop it. Let me hang it back up before I do. It's still tacky. Yeah. It's still tacky, so we'll let it sit there and dry overnight. And then we'll put the antenna back in all together. But yeah, that's where I'm at. And so tomorrow after chores, we'll put it in, bolt it up, do the wiring, and hopefully jump on finally getting the basket to fit. And that's where we're at. Once the baskets fit, we can install the stereo and continue on that. So that's where we're at. So everybody have a good evening. It's Saturday night. Time to let your hair down. Stay home, let your hair down. And we'll pick this up tomorrow. Have a good evening. Later. Morning, tubers. That's the time. That's the temp in here. And this is the bracket. Finally dried. I even put it in the oven for a little bit last night at 100 and some odd degrees, and hoping to get it dry. And nah. So it's dry now, and what we're going to do is we're going to put it in and move on with the antenna installations. When I get more, I'll turn it back on later. Alright, the bracket's in. Good thing too. Yeah. Antenna's tight. So now the wiring back here, and then up front to the deck. But I've been bouncing back and forth on this all day between house chores and this. So I got this done, so now back into the house for house chores, and then we'll head back out here and start wiring and routing some wires. So when I get more, I'll turn it back on later. Good afternoon, tubers. It's Tuesday, April 7th, and that's the time. And the temp is about that in the garage, but I did have the heater going for a little bit. Still haven't done anything with the wiring yet, with the electric antenna, but it's definitely in there. It ain't going nowhere. So, also, my order from Gary's order came in. He was making these, and he's asked him to send me some. So I think they're pretty cool. So I got 5 of them. And then here's the template he made me to drill the holes. So been in touch with Advanced Plating. They want 45 each to chrome plate them. They will 14 to 16 week turnaround, they said. And so I got to get those boxed up. I was gonna sit there and drill the holes on the hood and mount these, sit there and get them mounted and see how they'd work. But with the turnaround time that we got on it, I just want to get them in so I get them back here. So we're gonna box these up and get a flat rate box going, a little one, and get them out. Started ordering parts for the next phase of the project, which will be doing the doors and getting the windows in. I got to start bringing down. There's some there, I think, and there's some up there. Got to start bringing down all the window stuff. The windows are wrapped up in those blankets right there, and got to start wrapping those up. But I'm looking, spent most of this morning, and we'll be going back in. I figured I'd just give you a quick update on looking for electric window kits. There was 400 for the front and 400 for the rear, and that's a complete kit with wiring and everything, and the regulators and the motors and all that all ready to bolt in. And so I want to get this going and see how much I'm going to have to save to get it together. So, but what I was going to tell you is that, you know how when you take your door panels off, there's that cardboard or that paper weather stripping that's on the inside, waterproof shield or water shield for it. Well, I found it, and it's Rick's Camaros, Eckler's Rick's Camaros, whatever you want to call it, and they had it. And it was actually, it costs more to ship than it did to buy it, but it was 11 bucks, almost 12 bucks for 4 of them. It gives you all 4 pieces, so you got both, you got the front doors and you got the rear windows back here. So that's what I'm doing, is I just want to organize. I mean, once I get the antenna wired up, then it's open, enlarge the opening, get the deck in and start wiring up the deck. And then I have a few little things. I'm not going to put the front spoiler back on, which is also up there by the windows, if you can see it hanging out right up there. I'm not going to put the front spoiler back on until this goes to the alignment shop, because it might not get up on their alignment rack. Plus I got a repair on the front spoiler. I got some touch-up painting to do from me screwing up putting the fenders back on, and so I can't do that, so I'm going to be roughly at a standstill. So that's why I want to do all the research and then come out and finish up the stereo. So it's a quick update. When I get more, I'll turn this back on later. Morning, tubers. It's Good Friday, April 11th, and that's the time, and that's the temp. It's drizzling outside. We've been gloomy all week, and tomorrow we're supposed to be in the 80s. So didn't do much on this week. Well, I wouldn't say didn't do much physically on the car this week. Been doing a lot of research on power windows, and what I want to do is, let's open the door here. I don't want to put the window switch here. When I make the center console, I want to put it in the center console, and I don't want to put any in the door panels or in the back panel here. I want just one set of switches, and it'd be the four switch one, or the 4-lug one, or whatever you want to call it, that controls all the windows from the center console. So I've been researching that, doing a bit of looking at that. Came out a little bit and did some wiring. The antenna's grounded. The wiring's in the shield. It's right here. This silver wire here is the signal wire coming from the receiver to turn on the amp, so we'll T-tap into that. Right down here, you can't see it, but there's a positive lead going for the amp, and I'll tie the antenna into that. So that'll be it. So, but yeah, I spent most of the week pricing and researching wiring and trying to figure out which best way to go on it, and I'm still not done. So this is Friday, and my live show's today, and so I'll load this up this morning, and live show today at 2:30. I want to thank everybody for watching, subscribing, and of course leaving comments. I did hear back from Advanced Plating in Nashville. These are all wrapped up, ready to go, and they'll go out Monday. And they said anywhere from 4 to 16 weeks turnaround time, so I'm not worried about that. So I didn't drill the holes or mount them or anything else. I figured I'd just get these off and get them out of here. and that's what I'm going to do. So again, I want to thank everybody for watching, subscribing, and of course leaving comments. See you at the live show today at 2:30. Have a good one. Later.